Hey everybody! Today, Rahdo runs down Speakeasy Blues, which is a dice drafting worker placement style game where 2 to 4 players are competing to run the best speakeasy they can in Prohibition era New York. And now, the way it works is on your turn, first of all, you've got to make some opportunities for yourself. And that means collecting 2 dice from the board and adding them to the pool of existing opportunities. Now, you have to pick the same color. So I could pick both of these greens or both of these pinks or both of these yellows. And there's a lot that goes into this because, these are currently blocking opportunities. If this turn I wanted to try to expand my collection of very influential and cool things like black gold or a ship or, get the horses or become a producer on Nosferatu or what have you, I would need to be able to place my worker die here. But they're blocked. So if I want to do this action, I've got to take the pinks, which will unlock this favor and this collection, or the greens, which will unlock this collection space and this hooch space. So I could potentially do some bootlegging. Now, I am interested in getting some collections because as part of setup, I turned out to be the Kit Kat Club, which has a fair bit of money. I already have a collection. I don't have any reputation, and I've got some hooch on hand. The random collection item I got was The General, another famous film. And so I might want to go for building up the best collection. I might want to become known as a really big movie producer. So I want to get that Nosferatu and start building up a movie collection set instead of horses or yachts or what have you. So I want to do a collection action. So which one do I clear up? Do I clear up the hooch or do I clear up the family business, doing favors for this mafia family, or favors for the police? I'll go on ahead and clear out the hooch. So I'll take the greens. Now they get rolled. And ooh, it's a double hooch. And so that's the first part. So now the worker placement spot is cleared up that I wanted. Now I have to pick one of these sets of dice and do both actions. So if I wanted to get a whole bunch of hooch, I could take both these greens and get 1 hooch and then 2 hooch. But this bootlegging can run afoul of the law, and this means my reputation would drop, which means I might lose points at the end of the game. So I don't think I want that because remember, I want a collection, and I knew I wanted to chase after collection because there I could see in the pool there was an opportunity to do a collection. So I'm going to grab these blue dice. And now I do both of these actions. Let's do the hooch action first. I'll do this one and just get a single hooch and add it to my stash. I could get more, but then my reputation would drop. And your reputation can only drop so far before you're blocked from doing any, disreputable deeds. And let's see. So now the other blue, I will take this, and this means I can make an investment on the horses, on the yacht, or on the movie. And it just so happens I started with $3. I'm going to invest. I started with $3, not $11. I'm going to invest 2 to become a producer on Nosferatu. Alrighty. Every collection card is worth 1 point at the end of the game, but they can be worth as much money as you put in, depending on how you stack your cards in your speakeasy. Now, I've got 4 places I could put this. I could just put this on top of the general, and whenever you do that, whenever you cover up an old card with a new card, you're potentially getting rid of special powers. But that's going to be more common on the society or the crime cards. So there's no harm in covering this up, but I am covering up one more thing. If I put this over here instead, I've got this $sign and this $sign exposed, which means later on, when I throw a soiree, I can make more money. If I cover them up like this to save spots for other types of cards, then if I throw a soiree, I only make $1 instead of 2. So I am really letting it be known that I'm producing 2 big Hollywood films, and therefore, if I throw a party, there's going to be a lot of money coming in. So that's how I chose to do that. Those were the 2 actions I did. Now a new card comes out. And oh my gosh, no, this is an actual theater. This isn't a movie, this is a theater. But anyway, my turn is over. It is now Jen's turn. She has the same situation. She could take both blues, both yellows, or both pinks, which will give her new opportunities. And now what is she all about? Well, Keen's good food is their specialty? No, it's not. They started out with a -1 reputation because Jen drew 2 random crime cards as part of setup, only got a little bit of money and some hooch. So Jen has these secret crime cards occupying her first and second space. She knows what they are, nobody else does. Now, They could either be cops, which would give Jen special powers, or they could be gangsters, which would give Jen different special powers. And she can choose at a later date to flip them and reveal them. If they're gangsters, it might let her steal stuff from her opponents or whatever. If they're cops, it might give her. There's all kinds of things. There's a whole deck of crime-based cards. But anyway, so Jen's got these. She knows what they are, but she can't flip them now because over here we've got a queue of events. The first event of every game is the grand opening, which says during the first round, no crime cards can be flipped. So even if Jen wanted to reveal what her crime cards are, she couldn't do it. She'll have to wait until hard times in the second round, or in the third round when we celebrate the Academy Awards, or who knows what's coming in the future. As part of setup, we got a bunch of, I think it's like 8, if I recall correctly, event cards pulled from a whole ton of event cards. So you're going to get a different combination of events every time you play, and look at all these different speakeasies that you could be every time you play. The merry-go-round, or the Drury Lane Inn, all with different startup combinations. So anyway, so Jen's trying to decide what she wants to do. She's already lost some reputation, and she's looking at these guys and potentially thinking, well, this isn't, when she does engage in illicit acts, it might make her reputation drop even more. But what does she want to clear up? If she's in for crime, she could just go in for a penny, in for a pound, because she could choose to do a favor for one of the crime families. And now's a good time to do it, because if you see over here, during the grand opening, the cops will pay $2 for a favor, but either of the mobster families will pay $3. Now, you see later on that this mobster family will only pay 1, but then they'll pay 3 again. So money is important in this game. And it might be worthwhile to get some money right off the bat, which means she would have to have a favor command. Now, looking up ahead, she can see she could get hooch, although she can't because one of them is blocked, or she could do hooch and do some jazz. So that's interesting. The stuff that's blocked, if she wants to be able to do everything, maybe she should take blue, because that would just let her get 3 more hooch, as an example. Yeah, I think she will. Or no. Or does she want to do some jazz? But here's the thing. A lot of these actions are illicit and will push her her reputation down even farther. So that's not good. A lot of options here. Let's say she does want to do a favor, though. We'll see but if she rolls these and then doesn't get a favor, she will have cleared that out for nothing. So I think she'll go ahead and take these blues and roll them. And, oh my gosh, it's nothing but hooch. It's hooch, hooch, hooch. All right. So, Jen's made some opportunities. She was hoping she'd roll to be able to do a favor. She can't do it. So, she could get hooch, lots of hooch, or a little bit of hooch. And now, although anytime a player wants, they can spend money to re-roll all the dice in the pool. Jen could roll all 6 dice now and hopefully get what she wants. But that's why she wanted to do a favor, was to have more money on hand, not to lose it. So, what is she gonna do? Yeah, what the heck? She'll just go on ahead and invest in hooch. She'll do 1, 2. She gets 3 hooch, but, hold on a second. She'll take the greens. She'll do 1 to get some more hooch. And for this second one, instead of losing her reputation to get more, she's already got 2. That's enough for now. She'll throw a soiree, because you can use any die you want at any time for a soiree. And what that means is she can either make money or reputation depending on what she has on display. So there is an air of mystery around Keens, because there's the potential of these crimes. That gets everybody excited. So if Jen throws a soiree, she will increase her reputation by 2. So that's pulled her out of the doldrums. She's even scoring a point now at the end of the game for that. All right. And that's what she did. That's the end of the first round. The grand opening is over. Now we're on hard times. The Academy Awards are coming, and in the future there will be union unrest, which will change what we can do. And now it is my turn again. And that is the way the game keeps going. I have to pick 2 dice, thinking about what kind of opportunities I want to make available, but what types of opportunities are already available, and then continue, either doing set collection or recruiting members of society that can give you access to special powers, or getting more crime cards, or doing favors, all to chase a lot of different ways to score points at the end of the game. Now, one thing I just want to show, if we were to play a little bit longer and it would be Jen's turn, and she decided to reveal a crime card, she might reveal this one, which is Albert Anastasia, which is not that great. Well, first of all, now that Albert is actually hanging around her establishment, if she throws a soiree, her reputation will drop. That's no good. But when she revealed him, what this is saying is all other players would basically lose a cop. This is all their players would lose a cop. So if I had a cop in my place to protect me, Albert would wipe him out, rub him out. So Jen, I mean, this would not be a good time for Jen to do it because I don't have any cops protecting me. But Jen's other crime card she got at the beginning was interesting. It's George McLaughlin. This is a cop. And what his power is, once per turn, Jen can tap him to take out any crime card in her establishment. So she could have George arrest Albert, and that would increase her reputation again. And then George is going to stick around. This could be Jen's whole strategy: is luring criminals into her establishment and then having George arrest them. But over time, you've only got so many spaces, and you'll start covering up other cards with other cards, and you'll eventually lose powers as you try to build up towards the big ending where there's lots of different ways to score points. Folks, this game is really, really super clever. I was interested because it's from the designers of Sagrada Familia, which is a hugely popular dice drafting game. I want to see what else Daryl and Adrian could do. They have made one of the most thematically strong dice drafting games on the market. It's a blast. There are so many different strategies, so many different variable setups. It's just got it all. My only complaint is there can be a lot of take that screwage in the game depending on what happens. And so you got to know that going in because otherwise this is really sharp. A very interesting fresh take. You've got imperfect information about what dice you can draft for, but you've got to use your worker placement to block off spaces or make opportunities available. So much going on in Speakeasy Blues, and that's the rundown, folks. Have a nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.